Hi guys, welcome back to Flora Fun and Food. My name is Lauren and today we're going to start some seeds for early February for Zone 6A. I do have a couple more that we're going to plant near the end of February, so watch for that video in a couple of weeks. But let's get started. The first step is to go ahead and wet down our potting soil because it is extremely dry and powdery, and you want to make sure that you have a really not soggy but moist soil to start your seeds in, or they will not germinate. If you haven't seen my previous video for January seeds, go ahead and go check that out because we're doing kind of the same startup here. And just like that video, I will link where I purchase all of my materials in case you are interested as well. So we're going to give this a nice mix to just make sure we get all of that moisture evenly distributed. So it's not holding its shape together, it's just kind of falling apart, so we need a little bit more moisture. Okay, it is starting to hold its shape now, but we're not, when we squeeze it, we're not seeing any water drip out of it. So this is a pretty good consistency for our seed starting soil mix. Okay, the first thing I like to do is label my seed starting containers. These are the reusable silicone bottomed seed cells from Burpee. So I'm going to take a piece of washi tape here and stick it across the front like that so that I can just go ahead and write what we're going to plant on the front. This is easier to do before you fill everything with dirt. So now it's time to decide what we're planting. For these larger cells, I'm going to plant a lot of different peppers. So, you know, like spicy peppers, some sweet peppers, things like that. So I have quite a few different varieties of pepper here. So I want most of these trays to be peppers because I actually use those the most probably out of my garden, along with tomatoes and onions. Then I have some different herbal flowers like chamomile. My echinacea that I planted in January has not done anything in the seed starting tray, so I think it was a really old pack, so I don't think it's viable. So I do have some new echinacea that we're going to try and plant today. And then I have some leeks that we're going to start. Another crop that you could start at this time would be eggplant. I just don't eat eggplant, so I'm not going to use a spot up in the garden for something that I'm really not going to eat and save it for something that I would, you know, use more. So let's see, we have a bunch of different peppers. I have Sugar Rush peach pepper, Tabasco pepper. I do want to make my own Tabasco sauce. Jamaican Scotch bonnet. I have some Scotch bonnet hot sauce that I love, so I want to try this. Then I have these, and I'm totally going to butcher the name. I believe these are Aji Charapita peppers. They're supposed to be pretty spicy, and they just looked kind of pretty, so I grabbed some of those. Then I have these. These are actually my favorite seeds. I found them in a regular seed store quite a few years back, and I haven't seen them since, so I had to order these off Amazon, and they were kind of hard to find. But these are large hot cherry peppers, and I killed my starts last year, so I didn't even get a single one. So we're going to try again this year, and hopefully we're successful. I have tons of jalapenos. I have some golden calendar. Not sure if I'm saying that right either. Then I have yellow Hungarian hot, Dragon Cayenne, Long Thin Cayenne, Yellow Banana Sweet Peppers, Big Guy Hybrid just hot peppers. There's some more jalapenos, habaneros, shishitos. These actually did well in the garden last year. Multicolor bell peppers, more shishitos, more jalapenos. And then Death Spiral. My husband wanted me to buy these just for the novelty, but I am going to eat them. I love extreme spice, so we're going to try and grow these this year. So that is 16 different pepper varieties, but again, peppers are probably my favorite vegetable, so we're gonna make sure we plant them and have space in the garden for them. So if you can see, I only have one little marigold that has sprouted so far, and I just looked at the seeds and they don't look wonderful. I also really shouldn't have started marigolds yet, so I'm debating if I should just dump these and use the seed tray because I need it. Yeah, I think I got this too wet. So I may transplant this one marigold start and then just try again with marigolds later when it's actually time to start these. I was just trying to get them, you know, fully developed, established, whatnot, before summer came, but I think I'm going to dig out these seeds and just use this tray. So I just realized these are broken. They were shipped to me badly from Amazon, so I'm going to have to return these. That's really upsetting. Dang. Now that we have our labels done and our seeds sorted and ready to go, let's continue filling our trays with seed starting soil. As you can see here, I pushed down the damp soil into the seed cells so that it's getting all the air pockets out, because if you have too many air pockets, your soil's not going to absorb water correctly and your seeds are going to die. So put a whole layer in and then kind of smash it down gently with your finger, then re-top it off and push it down again, and that way you'll make sure that you have a nice amount of dirt for your seeds to start in. All right, let's start our pepper seeds. Let's start with Sugar Rush Peach Peppers. I just purchased these seeds from Baker Creek Rare Seeds, and I've heard really good reviews on them, so I'm excited to try these because I've never bought from them before. But it looks like they're in Missouri, which is where I am, so that's pretty cool. So I'm just using this little Dibbler tool just to poke a probably 1/4 inch hole into the soil here. You could use a pencil, a chopstick, your finger, but I like this because it's just a little less messy. Okay, and I'm only going to put 2 pepper seeds in each hole, just so I don't have to thin out so many and waste seeds. And then once they get to, you know, a pretty good sized seedling, I will thin them out and just keep the strongest of the 2. Okay, and now we're just gonna cover them back over like that, and we're done. And I like to just tape my seed packets shut with painter's tape, washi tape, masking tape, something that won't tear the packaging. That way I don't lose my seeds and I don't lose the information on the back. Up next is Tabasco peppers. Again, I am just doing 2 seeds per hole. Scotch bonnet. These are really spicy, but they are really flavorful too. Now the Aji Charapita. Oh, these are pretty small. Okay, and then we're just going to spray these with a little bit of water to wet them down and get them germinating. And I'm going to stick them over here under my grow lights and on my heat mats. Up first are the cherry hots, jalapenos, and I did 2 rows of jalapenos because those are probably the peppers I'll use more often because you need a little bit more for recipes and things. The spicier ones, 1 pepper will probably be good enough. Hungarian hot. And again, this is going to go on the seed starting shelf. Dragon cayenne. Now, some of you are probably wondering why I'm planting so many spicy peppers, and my plan is to make a ton of homemade hot sauce that I'm then going to can. So that's kind of my idea here, and I just kind of want to experiment and find peppers that I like the flavor of, the spice level of, things like that. So we're just trying a whole bunch of different kinds. My husband also really likes different noodle dishes that call for, you know, different like things like cayenne or different Asian style dishes that are, you know, on the spicier side. We really enjoy that kind of cuisine. So that's kind of the idea behind this massive collection of spicy peppers here. And that was long thin cayenne. Now this is yellow banana sweet. And then this is the big guy hybrid hot pepper from Burpee. Onto the seed tray. Now this seed tray is a lot smaller, and I am planting peppers in it, which means once they become, you know, 3 or 4 inches tall as seedlings, I will probably need to up pot them, as in put them in a bigger pot, because their roots need lots of space to grow down so they can get nice and established. I really don't like up potting, but sometimes it's necessary, and this is all I have since those other 2 here were broken. They're not deep cells like I wanted, but that's okay. We'll just have to make do with what we've got. Alright, some bell peppers, and as I talked about in my last video, if you saw that, some seeds come with a clay coating, and it just helps you hold the seeds better if they're small, but you do need to give them an extra thorough watering to start off to kind of dissolve the clay coating. So that's why these seeds are red instead of a normal kind of like off-white cream color. It's just because they have a coating on them. Habanero. Ooh, this seed looks bad. We're just going to throw that out. Next up is shishito. The ones I'm really excited about, Death Spiral. All right, I'm out of those. Golden Cowling in the last row here. And then some leeks in this row. We'll water these in. I need to go back and water in a couple that I already set down because I forgot. All right, last ones here. We're going to do some different chamomile, and I need to replant my echinacea in the other seed tray we started a couple weeks ago. All right, this first row is going to be Kelway Golden Chamomile. Now, chamomile is a perennial in my zone, so I need to be kind of strategic in where I plant these in the garden because they will come back. Oh, these are tiny, tiny seeds, I forgot. And they will self-seed themselves too. So once you plant chamomile, it's pretty much guaranteed you're just always going to have chamomile in your garden. But that is okay with me. Again, I'm only putting 2 seeds in each hole just so I don't have to thin out so many plants later on. I have struggled with that forever because I always feel like I should just plant a ton, but then I end up just wasting seeds and plants, and I don't want to do that. And then here's just regular German chamomile. So this will have the white flowers, this one will have golden flowers that look a little different. So I'm excited to have both varieties. And I should say this one is not technically a perennial. This one is. So the golden one is a perennial. This one is an annual, but again, it self-seeds itself. So it's like, you know, it doesn't technically come back, like the same plant doesn't come back. Oh my gosh, this is like sawdust. It's so tiny. But it will self-seed and keep going in your garden. If you have seeds that are teeny tiny, sometimes it's easier to mix in some sand to help you pinch just a couple at a time. But I think I'm doing okay here. Make sure they get nice and tucked in. We will spray them to get them watered in. And I'm going to take this tray that I started last time and just replant echinacea in this row that is already labeled echinacea because I really don't think the seeds I used were viable. I can test that out if you want to know if your seed pack is done for, a good way to test germination rate is to take, 20 seeds or so, put them in a wet paper towel, like a damp paper towel, in a Ziploc bag and hang it on a window, and then wait the recommended, germination time. And if 60% or more of your seeds start to produce roots or little tiny shoots, then you know your seeds are still viable. If it's less than 60%, you may as well toss the pack. So I'm going to try it with these just because I'm curious, because they have been in I've probably had these 5 or 6, February of 2017. And they have been in and out of my sunroom, which is not heated or cooled, so they probably didn't do so hot. So I got some new ones to make sure I got some echinacea this year. And I ordered these from Baker Creek. So let's get going. Oh, I dropped one. 1, 2. Alright, and we're just going to push the soil back over. This is really damp soil, but I do want to water it in because I want those seeds nice and soaked so that they know to start germinating. And again, echinacea really needs to be stratified, which means you put it in the refrigerator for a few weeks, a few months, I should say. But I didn't do that. I need to look at rareseeds.com to read a little bit more, but this one doesn't say anything about stratifying it on the package like my other one did, so maybe it's a different variety. So I'll have to look at that, but typically I think it's one of the ones you need to stratify. So I just want to show you what we started in January. These 2 rows here are my asparagus sprouts, and they're getting really tall. This is that marigold we just replanted with the passion flower vine row. These are my snapdragons. This is the echinacea we just planted today. And these little bitty ones here, are celery. My onions, so remember this half was green onions and this half was Walla Walla onions, are doing very, very well. They are nice and tall. And there we have it. This is our first planting in February. We'll do another one in a couple of weeks of a few more things. I'm clearly running out of room on this shelf. I have some behind me here, but we're gonna have to figure out where we're gonna put the rest of these seeds. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and head over to my channel to subscribe for more content like this, and I hope to see you guys again very soon. Thanks guys, bye.